Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Rise and Shine. My name is Coach Lacy, and today I want you to take an inventory of what are you focusing on. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to do so wherever you have found me on the big wild web, and let's get right into it. So, what are you focusing on? How are you showing up in the world? What is it that you want to do with this one beautiful life that you have? Are you focusing on all the things that aren't working for you and all the things that you wish would happen? Or are you taking a moment to pause and be thankful for what you have today, in this moment? In this moment, where is your attention today? What is your focus on? Because where your attention goes, energy flows. Not all of us are actually experiencing all of life. We're reacting. We're being reactive. And we're just reacting to what's in front of us and focusing on what we think is, but it's not the whole picture. Because what we experience in this life are just the parts that we choose to focus on. As I said before, where your attention goes, the energy flows and then it multiplies. And then it multiplies. And our focus, it creates our reality. It flows energy into the parts that we give the most attention to. This is why the practice of gratitude is so important. This is why we anchor in with gratitude in the morning, in the evening. We check in. We check in with our heart. Where are we at? We check in with our mind. Where's our mind at? What are we focused on? When we're going through a storm, we have to check in. What are we focused on? Are we focused on the storm or are we focused on the outcome that we are hoping that will manifest? Because we are not victims of circumstance. We are victors of our life, and we have a choice to focus on the things that bring us joy and bring us happiness and gratitude. I don't always focus on those things. And I'm coming to you today because this is a reminder for myself and a reminder for you to make sure to check in with yourself. Don't be whisked away by the storms of life because you are not anchored in. This is why I have the process of anchoring in. Our brains love to trick us into thinking that we don't have enough, that we're not enough, that we'll never make it. Our brain is constantly distorting, deleting, and generalizing so that we don't have to basically go insane with everything that's coming at us. We can't take in everything in life and not, go absolutely crazy. So it's really important to shift your focus and look at the good in life instead of what's always going wrong. We're not, because we have so much information coming at us, we're actually not aware of 90% of the things that are going on at any given moment. Until someone or something brings that to your conscious awareness, most of the time we are just focused on our thoughts and what's right in front of us. And you have to choose your thoughts wisely because your thoughts become your reality. Your thoughts become your words and you speak your words into existence and they become your reality. You have to be mindful of what you're thinking and what you're saying. You know, manifestation, when people talk about manifestation in like the new age world, there's some truth to that. There's some truth about our thoughts becoming our reality because what we focus on becomes our reality. It's also biblical. There are many scriptures about life and death in the tongue. When we focus on gratitude and what we're grateful for and the things we love, those things multiply. But we have so much coming at us at any given day, it's really easy to focus on the negative. But there's a lot of things going on in this life that we don't even recognize. For example, your heart is beating right now, and you probably didn't even feel it until I said something. And now you can feel it in your fingertips, you can feel it in your chest, you can feel it in your neck, you can feel it right down to your toes. But until I said something and made you consciously aware of your heartbeat, you weren't even thinking about it, right? We're wearing clothes. We're wearing clothes. It's touching our skin. It's some of you might not be, but it's the clothes that we're wearing is touching our skin, and you can feel that on your skin, but you weren't aware of that feeling until it was brought to your attention. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Whatever you focus on, you feel it. You feel it. Even if it's not real, even if it didn't actually happen, even if it's just something you made up in your mind, your body keeps the score. For example, if you think that someone is taking advantage of you, your body will literally react as if they already have. That is how powerful focus is. And that is how easy it is for your nervous system to get hijacked. The body stores trauma in our fascia. And so those memories are like imprinted into the very structure that makes up us, makes up our body. And so you can literally make yourself miserable just by overthinking, just by thinking about a bad memory or about the potentiality of something going wrong. You can literally feel it in your body, and your nervous system will get hijacked. I was recently in a Accustone therapy sound bath meditation one-on-one with my friend, and she was having me focus on my breath. And I realized that every time I was doing box breathing, every time I would hold my breath and I would start to panic. Because when I was younger, I was almost drowned in a swimming pool by a girl in the same apartment complex as me. And so I recognized that whenever I hold my breath, that memory comes up for me. And I start to panic because I feel like I'm going to drown, right? And that happened so long ago. I was like 8 years old when that happened. But it still affects me to this day, and I'm almost 40 years old. And so now I have to practice that box breathing, and I have to practice leaning into that feeling and watching it dissolve and just sitting with it. Sometimes when you have been a survivor of traumatic events, you just have to sit with those memories. You sit with them, you thank them, and you let them go. These things don't always have to be a detriment to your soul. It can be a lesson that you've learned so that you can move forward with grace and grit. These are character building events. Even if you've been through the worst, it's still built character inside of you. And you probably are thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, what is she on? But I have walked through many traumatic events in my life, and I am a better person because of it. It hasn't made me bitter. It hasn't made me resentful. But instead, I've learned the art of forgiveness time and time again. And I've learned the art of letting go and the art of being grateful. And I've learned that I'm a survivor, right? I'm a survivor, and it has made me courageous. It's made me courageous in the face of fear. Cowards, cowards die 1,000 deaths in their mind. They're constantly dying another day. But the courageous, just one. So what are you focusing on today? Are you focusing on all the bad things that happened to you? Or are you focusing on the good that it harvested inside of you? It's up to you. It's up to you. You get to decide. And that's the beautiful thing, is that you get to decide whether it makes you or it breaks you. Because friends, I can tell you right now that I have been at the edge of the canyon for many, many moons. There's been many times where I have walked through darkness and death and drama and trauma, and it could have made me bitter, resentful, angry, but I'm not. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be the person I am today because I went through all of these events that have strengthened me and given me grit and given me grace. Traumatic events, they cultivate grit inside of you. They cultivate grace. You don't have to become a victim of circumstance. You can become the victor of your life. And I am saying that to you as a survivor. I am a survivor. I've been through so many things that some people will never even know. I don't have to speak about it. I don't have to focus on it. And I don't think about it half the time. Sometimes there's lessons that needed to be learned that I reflect upon, but I know that the trauma and the drama and all these things have taught me the art of grace. And it's made me courageous, and it has made me a victor of my life. I am not a victim. And some of these things that I walked through are self-inflicted. Some of these things were inflicted upon me. Some of these things were circumstances beyond my control. Some of these things make me deeply, deeply sad. When I focus on how deeply sad I am and I turn on my sad music and I start to think about all the loss that I have in my life and all the trauma and drama, that puts me in a really bad place. And sometimes I do focus on those that I've loved and lost and honor their memory, but I try not to go too deep into the shadowy depths because I know they're still with me. I know they're still with me. And I know those lessons that I had to learn from the loss were just something that could make me stronger and give me the grit and the grace that I have to help others through the darkness. And that can be you too. It doesn't have to just be my story. We are all a part of the story of Earth and the story of life. And we can choose. We can choose to be the victim or we can choose to be the victor. So I want to ask you today, what are you rehearsing in your mind? Where is your focus going? Are you focusing on all the negative, or are you focusing on what you're grateful for? I can guarantee that you can think of one thing, just one thing that you're grateful for. And when you think of one thing, then you can think of two. And by golly, if you can think of two, I'm sure there's three. Even if you're just thankful for your breath today and the clothes on your back and the house that you're sitting in, the computer or the phone you are watching this from, there's always something to be grateful for. So anchor into that. Don't focus on your fears. Don't focus on the worst case scenario. Don't worry. Worry doesn't change anything. I used to be a huge worrywart. Worry, 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 worry. I would create scenarios in my mind that wouldn't even happen. And when our daughter lived in our house, I was especially a worrywart, and I would hoist these worries upon her, and it would stop her in her tracks, and it would cause friction and drama. Don't do that to people. Don't cast your worries on other people. Instead, cast your cares into the Lord and be grateful for everything that you have. And again, if you're not there yet and you're watching me and you're like, oh, there she goes again with the preaching. I'm not preaching. I am simply giving people the tools that I have come to understand in my walk, in my walk of life. We all have our own walk of life. I started this life out, I started this life out in one way and I'm in another way now. I was once a Satanist. I was once a drug addict. I was once into witchcraft. I was once, bisexual. I was once, and now I am born again and again and again and again and again. And I'm sure that by 10 years, 20 years from now, I'll be completely different again. And I hope that I'll be more anchored and rooted into the spirit and a light for other people. Because we have to be the light in the darkness. This world is so broken. There's so much sadness. And I have sat in that sadness. I have had nights where I've tried to take my own life. I've had days where I have almost succeeded in taking my own life. I've had days where I've almost succeeded in just blowing everything up that I've created because I was so focused on what I didn't think I had or what was making me sad or all the drama that put me in a dark place. But it was a choice. It was a choice to focus on that drama, sadness. Till one day I woke up and I realized that I didn't want to be hurting anymore. And if you're always letting the outside noise control you, control what you think, what you feel, what you focus on, if you always let the past control what you think, what you feel, and you focus on, you are not in control of your life. You are a victim of circumstance, not a victor of your journey. And in order to be the hero of your story and, transcend the mountain, go to the top and come down, you have to keep pushing and you have to have the right mindset. You can't go hike a mountain and get to the top by thinking you're not going to make it. It would make the journey miserable. So enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey and lean into the things that you love and what you are grateful for. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. I'll say it again. Don't get stuck in comparison trap on social media. If you're a business owner, it's really easy to get stuck in that comparison trap on social media. It's really easy to focus on, oh, I'm not making money today, or, oh, nobody's buying my products, or whatever. But instead of focusing on what is not happening, focus on what is. Focus on the positive. Don't focus on your trauma loops. Don't focus on the past. Those nagging voices in the head, in your head from your parents. Those negative projections from other people because they're stuck in their own trauma and drama and haven't figured out a way out of their own loop of negativity. Don't focus on the people that told you you wouldn't make it. Focus on proving them wrong, proving yourself wrong. Focus on the victory that you have and will have in your life if you so choose to claim it. Those negative voices don't get energy unless you give it to them. Those negative imprints do not become tattooed on your soul unless you focus on it. You can release it, can be released. And if you don't choose your focus, it will be chosen for you. And I don't know about you, but I refuse anymore to let my happiness be determined by my past, by the trauma, by the drama, by the algorithm, by the projections. My future is not defined by what someone thinks of me. My future is not defined by the trauma I have endured and the drama that I have walked through and the grief that I feel. That is not my future. That is not my story. It is part of the story, but it is not the result. It is not the ending to my story. It's not the victory. My victory is in transcending all of this BS into something bigger and leaning into something bigger than myself and knowing that God's got my back. And in him I have victory. And happiness is a choice. It's a choice. We choose happiness. And that makes some people really uncomfortable, man, because they're not choosing happiness and they're making excuses. And once again, I will say to you that all excuses are lies. And we all have excuses sometimes. There's great justifications. They sure seem reasonable, don't they? But how is it reasonable if you're miserable? How is it reasonable if you are the victim and not the victor? And you don't want to fake it until you make it because that is not going to get you where you want to go. You want to anchor in and choose your anchor. It's up to you. It's up to you. There's a quote that most people are as happy as they make their minds up to be. I think that was Abraham Lincoln. And it can't be, there's nothing more true than that. It's up to you. And if you look at Abraham Lincoln and you look at his life, that man, he lost elections. He had so much grief and sadness, and his business, he lost business. He lost his sweetheart, he lost his lover, and he still showed up to lead a nation, and he still became a part of the story of victory. Why can't that be you? Why can't you be the victor? The victor in your story. Why do you have to be the victim? You don't. You choose it. The only thing that sets people apart, the victory and the victors of the story and the hero on the hero's journey, the thing that sets the hero apart from the victim is the hero chooses to focus on what they're building and not what you're battling. You can't focus on the whole battle. You have to focus on one breath, one step, one bite at a time, one moment at a time, one battle at a time. But you don't focus on what's going wrong. You focus on what's going right and use that energy to propel you forward. We can all do it. We don't have to be swept away by life's dramas and sit in that trauma and become the victim. That's not your story. It doesn't have to be. And if it has been your story, you get to choose to change that today. Every good movie, every good book, every good show, every good story has that climax, has that moment where the hero decides. Where the hero decides they're no longer going to be the victim in the storm. Where the hero has the montage, right? Like the montage on Rocky. And they go for it. And they fight and they win. And not every battle is going to be won. But that doesn't mean that you're not a victor. Or you're not a hero. Heroes don't win every battle. Heroes just show up and they fight with heart. That's what makes a hero. They're in the fight. They're in it, man. They're in it. You can do it. You got this. So today, right now, I want you to take what we've talked about and shift that energy. If you're feeling shitty and you feel like you just don't. It's up to you. You can make that change. Little tiny incremental changes. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for. You're grateful to be able to watch this. You're grateful to have clothes on your back. You're grateful to have a heartbeat. There, I gave you your 3 things. Now come up with 3 of your own. Think of 3 things that make you feel alive. 3 things that you love. It could be a person, it could be a moment, it could be a memory or something that hasn't even happened yet, but it's something that lights you up. Write them down. Write down 3 things. That's all you need. It's 3 things. And then write 3 more. Keep going. You can write a whole list. But it could just be the 3 things. Just anchor you in every morning to gratitude. And look at the small, beautiful things. Find beauty in everything. There is beauty in this world, just as there is ugly. Just as there is hate, there is hope. The duality of life, that is beautiful. Without the dark, the stars wouldn't shine. Right? Like, come on. You can see beauty in the darkness. It's possible. I've seen the worst that humanity has to offer. That's the truth. That's the truth. And I'm still here smiling, trying to give a good word to you guys, right? Sit in the feeling and the vibration of your gratitude and what lights you up. Think about what lights you up and sit in that for a minute. Think about, what does that feel like? What does that energy feel like? Does it feel like excitement? Does it feel like fulfillment, freedom, peace? What does that feel like to be excited? And get familiar with it and imprint it in your body. Create new memories in the fascia of excitement and love and fulfillment. Imprint that in your nervous system so you can access it at any time. Because when the storm hits, and it will, this is what helps you stay anchored in the storm. This is what keeps you in the fight when it comes. Is this feeling what lights you up? Happiness doesn't come from an external source. It comes from within. It's not about how much money's in your bank account or what your number says on the scale or if your relationship is going well. That doesn't make happiness. Happiness comes from within. You get to choose. It's a choice. It is a choice. It is a choice what you focus on. Where focus flows, if where focus goes, energy flows, right? And it's about the journey. Enjoy the journey. Who are you becoming? Everybody loves a good redemption story. Everybody. That's what makes the climax, right? That is what makes the best stories, is a good redemption story. So make yours a good one, you know? So as you go through your week and as you go through your day, as you go through your hour, as you go through the next 5 minutes, I want you to remember that life doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. It shouldn't be. But what you focus on, and if it's clear and you anchor in and you have heart and you refuse to quit and you keep in the fight, you got this. Anchor in. That's anchoring in. And choose where you want your energy to flow. Where your focus goes, energy flows. Remember that. If you remember one thing from what I said today, remember that. Where your focus goes, energy flows. Repeat it. You are worthy. You are worthy to rise. You are worthy to shine. You just have to show up. You have to show up and you have to grab that. You have to claim it. So you can be more, you can do more, and you can rise up, shine like the sun in the morning moon. Because there's nothing better than that. Right? Anchor in, you guys. Anchor into your gratitude today. Anchor into your energy. And as always, if you need a little help, I'm always here. I'm now taking one-on-one clients again. So please reach out to me. I would love to help you. Start reframing. Start having some mindset reframes. Okay? You can do it. All right. Anchor in, rise and shine, and I will see you next time. Ciao.